We love our country. We hold dear the values upon which our nation was founded, and we are distressed at what our president, our administration, and our Congress are doing to and in the name of our nation. Blind faith in bad leaders is not patriotism.
We have always been proud to distinguish ourselves from nations that kidnapped, disappeared, and tortured human beings. Now, under the Bush administration, we are becoming like them.
This is not America. It is not who we are or what we believe in.
Our nation's reputation throughout much of the world has been destroyed. We have many more enemies bent on our destruction than before our invasion of Iraq, and the hatred toward us has grown to the point that it will take many years, perhaps generations, to overcome the loathing created by our unjustified illegal invasion and occupation of a Muslim nation.
Those of us who see our nation being taken in a disastrous direction under this presidency, we all, especially those of us in any leadership position, have an enormous responsibility to stand up and be heard.
We will continue to resist the lies, the deception, the outrages. We will insist that peace be pursued and that as a nation we help those in need. Let us join together to break the cycle of hatred, of intolerance, of violence. Let us build a better nation and a better world together.
We are in the midst of a tragic, disastrous, illegal war into which our nation has been led by a disastrous presidency. Our nation is at a crucial point in its history. We are faced with serious challenges, and we need serious voices engaging in serious, informative dialogue. It is in that spirit that we can rise above the shrill and hateful name-calling that too often passes for dialogue in our nation today, recognizing that all of us, conservatives and liberals, Republicans, Democrats, Greens, Libertarians, and Independents, are Americans who share fundamental common values. We value the rule of law, where everyone, including the President, is bound by the law, including our Constitution, statutory law, and treaty obligations. We value the protections against governmental abuses of our rights and liberties, such as Big Brother invasions of our privacy. We value a system of government where there is a balance of power, where we have checks and balances among the three branches of government to protect against abuses of power. We value honesty and expect to be told the truth by governmental officials. Essential to our democracy is an informed electorate who can trust the representations made by our elected officials. We believe in the peaceful resolution of disputes among nations whenever possible, and the observance of treaties that prohibit wars of aggression. We believe that leaders have a solemn responsibility to exercise diligence and competence in meeting their duties to protect our safety and security. And we highly value treating other people humanely, even those who fight for our enemies. That has been our nation's proud tradition until now. Our nation's founders provided for impeachment and removal from office in the event a federal official betrays any of those values and thereby harms our nation. President Bush has egregiously betrayed all of those values with devastating consequences for the United States. During the constitutional debates, George Mason, who is largely responsible for our Bill of Rights, stressed the significance of impeachment as a constitutional remedy for abuses of power. He stated that no point is of more importance than that the right of impeachment should be continued, because no man, especially the President, should be above justice. Because of the betrayal of the most fundamental American values by President Bush, It is not only appropriate but crucial to our nation and its standing in the world that President Bush be impeached. President Theodore Roosevelt, a great Republican president, noted that the patriots are those who rise up in dissent when a president engages in wrongdoing and thereby harms our country. He wrote, "To announce that there must be no criticism of the president or that we are to stand by the president, right or wrong, is not only unpatriotic and servile, but is morally treasonable to the American public. It is in the spirit of President Roosevelt's call for us to oppose a president who harms our country through his wrongdoing that I ask you to join in calling for President Bush's impeachment, exactly as the founders of our nation anticipated. The invasion and occupation of Iraq has been tragic, unnecessary, unprovoked, and illegal. We attacked a nation that posed no threat to our security. Now, as an occupier of Iraq, the United States is pursuing a self-destructive, widely despised course of action. All of this has made everything far worse for everyone. For the United States and our standing in the world, for American servicemen and servicewomen and their loved ones, for the Iraqi people, and for the prospect of peace, safety, and security throughout the world. There is no question that bad people have been doing horrific things in that part of the world, just as evil things are being perpetrated in many other parts of the world. The solution is not for the United States to invade and occupy a nation that poses no security risk to us, becoming an international outlaw, engaging in horrific human rights abuses, and undermining the United Nations' efforts to reach a peaceful resolution, as with the successful weapons inspections in Iraq, are not the means for the United States to fight evil and to bring greater peace and stability to the world. The terrorist attacks on the United States on September 11, 2001 were tragic, outrageous, and devastating. Millions of people around the world rallied to our side. Thousands of Iranians held candlelight vigils in Tehran for victims of the tragedy. In sympathy, French President Jacques Chirac declared, "We are all Americans." While President Bush and other officials promised to find Osama bin Laden and destroy the al-Qaeda terrorist network, they derailed that effort and forfeited the support and respect of much of the international community by pulling resources out of Afghanistan and pursuing their earlier secret goal of invading Iraq, a country that had nothing to do with the 9/11 attacks on the United States. The Reagan administration, including Donald Rumsfeld, shown here with Saddam Hussein in the 1980s, and the administration of the first President Bush, supported Saddam Hussein when he actually did possess and use chemical weapons, first against Iranians, then in his brutal genocide against Iraqi Kurds. Ironically, after Iraq's weapons of mass destruction were destroyed, President Bush misrepresented to the American people that Iraq still possessed chemical and biological weapons and was building nuclear weapons, and that therefore the United States needed to rush an invasion and occupation of that country.
It possesses and produces chemical and biological weapons. It is seeking nuclear weapons. The danger is already significant, and it only grows worse with time. If we know Saddam Hussein has dangerous weapons today, and we do, does it make any sense for the world to wait to confront him as he grows even stronger and develops even more dangerous weapons?
We and much of the rest of the world were being deceived. President Bush had no basis for making those categorical statements. He failed to tell us about crucial information that was diametrically the opposite of what he was telling